מעשר Sheni Perek Beis Mishnah Aleph. מעשר Sheni nitin la'achilo u'lishti u'lesicha. As we mentioned in the Akdam and in the previous parak, what could he use מעשר Sheni for? מעcer Sheni is only allowed to be used for eating, for drinking, and for smearing on one's skin. Mesicha harehi kishtia, as we know from the Gemara Shabbos. Lechel davar shadarka lechel, losuch davar shadarka losuch. We are only allowed to eat what's normal to eat. Therefore, if מעשר Sheni produce spoils, it doesn't have to be eaten because spoiled food is not something that's normally eaten. In general, it's forbidden to let מעשר Sheni food go to waste. If it spoils, though, one does not have to eat it. And lo yosuch yayin b'chometz. A person may not rub his skin with wine or vinegar of מעשר Sheni because these are typically used for eating and drinking and not for smearing. Aval salchu es hashemet, but he may rub his skin with oil, which is typically used for this purpose. Similarly, a person may drink only liquids that people usually drink. For example, he may not drink plain oil because it's not usually drunk. And as the Gemara says in the beginning of Ketzam Avarchem, Brachas Daf Lamed Hemad Beis, Daf Lamed Vavam Beis, I believe it is that it's dangerous, it's not healthy. Ein mefat min shemen shel מעשר Sheni. One may not perfume oil of מעשר Sheni by soaking spices in it, because the spices absorb some of the oil, and since the spices are eventually removed from the oil and thrown away, the מעשר Sheni oil absorbed in them will go to waste. In addition, one may not buy spiced oil with מעשר Sheni money because spiced oil is used only by people with very refined tastes, and only types of food used by the average person may be bought with מעשר Sheni money. Since items not used by the average person are usually very expensive, spending מעשר Sheni funds on them is considered a waste of money. However, he may add spices to מעשר Sheni wine because although the spices will absorb some wine in the spices, what's different about wine and shemen is that by the yayin, the spices are consumed together with the wine, so no wine will go to waste. However, a person may not buy spiced wine with מעשר Sheni funds because spiced wine, like perfumed wine, is not something used by the average person. It's something that's more expensive, so he can't use that. The Mishnah turns to another halacha related to spiced wine. If a person wants to be paid in מעשר Sheni that's in a mixture with chulin ingredients, he needs to redeem only the value of the מעשר Sheni ingredients. However, when different ingredients are mixed to create a certain produce, the final product is often worth more than the sum of the individual ingredients. For example, if מעשר Sheni wine is mixed with chulin spices, the drink is worth more than the sum of the wine and the spices together. The Mishnah explains how to calculate the value of מעשר Sheni with such a beverage. So, if honey or spices fell into מעשר Sheni wine, and as a result, the mixture went up in value, the spiced wine is worth more than the value of the ingredients on their own. The added value is calculated by proportion. To explain it's like this. Honey worth 1 selah fell into מעשר Sheni wine worth 2 slaim, and the mixture is now worth 4 slaim. So if the owner wants to be paid of the wine, he must redeem it for 2 2/3 slaim. Since the wine accounted for 2/3 of the mixture's original value, and the value of the mixture rose by 1 selah, he must add 2/3 of a selah to the wine's original value. Similarly, if chulin fish were cooked with מעשר Sheni leeks and the resulting mixture went up in value, the mixture is worth more than the sum of the fish and the leeks on their own. The added value is calculated by proportion. But there's a different halacha. If someone baked the dough of מעשר Sheni ingredients and its value went up, the bread is worth more than the raw dough it was worth. The extra value is all added to the מעשר Sheni. Even though the reason it's worth more is because it was baked, which involves the use of chulin firewood, we don't say that some of the added value is attributed to the firewood. Rather, all the extra value is applied to the מעשר Sheni bread. If the owner wants to be paid it, he must be paid it for the full current value of the bread. Zeh haklal. This is the rule. Kol sheshvachei niker. In any case with the chulin item that causes the added value is recognizable, that we can measure the mixture and see that it contains chulin ingredients, hashevach lefi cheshbon. The added value is calculated by proportion. Kol she'ein shvachei niker. But in any case where the chulin item that caused the added value is not recognizable, we cannot tell by measuring the dish that it contains chulin. Hashevach l'sheni, the extra value is all added to the מעשר Sheni. So when the firewood causes dough to increase in value, the extra values are all added to the dough because the firewood cannot be detected in the dough. The chulin is considered recognizable only if it adds to the weight or volume of the dough. If the amount of chulin is too small to be measured by weight or volume, it's not taken into account, even if it can be tasted. Which is very interesting, because the many times halacha is that it has to be nice and tam. Over here, even if it's nice and tam, it's not nice and tam l'shvach at all. It's a different cheshbon of making the shvach in this produce. Mishnah Beis. Reb Shimon Omer, ein sachin shemen shal ma'aser sheni b'Yerushalayim. Reb Shimon says that one may not smear ma'aser sheni oil in Yerushalayim. Rather, ma'aser sheni produce may only be eaten or drunk. But Chachamim matirim, the Chachamim say it's mutter. The previous Mishnah says that ma'aser sheni oil may be rubbed onto the skin. It's a shittas Chachamim, and here's where Reb Shimon is coming to argue. Amar leila Reb Shimon, the Chachamim said to Reb Shimon, im hekel b'truma chamura, if we're mekel by truma, which is a lot more chamur, to allow a person to rub the truma oil on his skin, so should we not be lenient concerning Ma'aser Sheni and allow it to be used for sicha, since Ma'aser Sheni generally were more mekel? Amalhem, Reb Shimon said to the Chachamim, ma'aloi. That's not a valid argument. While here we are mekel when it comes to truma, although truma generally is more chamor, we're also more mekel with truma in other cases, such as kashinim, which is a certain kind of bean, and fenugreek. They're bean-like plants usually used as animal food. Regarding certain halachas, when these produce of truma are more mekel than that of Ma'aser Sheni, as we'll see in the Mishnayos, in the coming Mishnayos. So nokol b'Ma'aser Sheni hakal. Should we be more lenient by Ma'aser Sheni because it's usually more lenient than truma? Just because there's a kula by Ma'aser Sheni, that means it's automatically a kula by truma, or just because there's a chumrah by truma means that there's automatically a chumrah by Ma'aser Sheni? So malkum shlei hekel b'kashinim u'b'silton, when there are cases where we're not mekel with Ma'aser Sheni, such as in the case of kashinim and silton. In other words, even though truma's laws are generally stricter than those of Ma'aser Sheni in most ways, there are some areas of halacha, such as kashinim and silton, for which truma's laws are more mekel. So the fact that it's permitted to do sicha with truma oil is no reason to say that it should be mutter to do sicha with Ma'aser Sheni oil. It's not a raya b'chlal. And that's where the Mishnah ends. Ve'ein halacha zak Rav, ve'ein halacha k'Reb Shimon, the halacha is like the Chachamim, yochad v'rabim halacha k'Rabim, and you can, it's mutter to do sicha with Ma'aser Sheni oil. Mishnah Gimel. Silton shal Ma'aser Sheni. In the previous Mishnah, Reb Shimon said that kashinim and silton of truma are more mekel than silton and kashinim of Ma'aser Sheni. The Mishnah explains how this is true. Silton shal Ma'aser Sheni te'achel tzimchainim. Silton and Ma'aser Sheni must be eaten when the stalks are young and moist. When the silton ripens further, the stalks turn hard and are inedible. Since it's also to cause Ma'aser Sheni to go to waste, a person must eat it before they become inedible. But when it's truma, though, it may be kept until it gets hard. And when it gets hard, it dries out. It's fit only for animals. Now there's a big chiluk over here, because truma is allowed to be eaten by animals. Ma'aser Sheni is not allowed to be eaten by animals. Since Ma'aser Sheni may not be fed to the animals, silton that's Ma'aser Sheni will have no use after it dries. Ma'aser Enkein silton that's truma, though, may be fed to the animals. Thus it may be kept until it dries, because it can then be fed to the animals and will not go to waste. Most truma may not be fed to animals, but silton is an exception. So the halacha of silton of truma has more of a kula than the halacha of silton for Ma'aser Sheni. V'shol truma be'shamay oimrim kol ma'aseh betara chutz mechafifasa. The Mishnah discusses another halacha about silton, which is truma. Truma may never be handled by a person who is tameh. In addition, the Chachamim were geyser that even a person who is tahor must wash his hands before touching truma, which is one of the reasons why we wash for bread, as a zeicha for this gzeira. If someone touches truma with unwashed hands, the truma is considered tameh. The Mishnah will bring a machlekes about whether this requirement applies to silton, which were more mekel than regular truma. So if shal truma be'shamei oimrim kol ma'aseh betara, everything that's done to prepare must be done with complete tara, that a person must wash his hands before touching it, just as he must wash his hands before touching any other produce that's truma. Although silton is generally treated more kuladik than ordinary truma, the chacham were geyser that it may not be touched unless he washes his hands. So people will remember that it's truma, and the zar will not eat it. Chutz mechafifasa. If a person uses truma of silton to clean his hair without washing his hands, a person may use truma of silton to clean his hair without washing his hands, because once it's used as shampoo, it's no longer edible, and there's no concern that a non-kohen will eat it, because no one will eat it. They would use the silton in some way to use it to make shampoo to clean their hair. Beis Hillel Beis Hillel argue and Beis Hillel say that food can become tamei only if it was mukshal kabel tuma with one of the zayin mashkes. And over here, everything that's done to truma may be done in a state of for the siltan, may be done in a state of tuma. The Chachamim did not require a person to wash his hands before touching siltan as truma, unless he's soaking it. If a person soaks the siltan, he must wash his hands first, because soaking the siltan with unwashed hands causes two things at once. It's machshir the siltan to become tamei, and it becomes tamei by bringing it in contact with the hands that were not washed. So this is what the Chachamim did aser as a reminder that it's truma. While by Shammai say that a person must almost always wash his hands for siltan as a reminder that it's truma, they still hold that the Chachamim required less of a reminder. They held that a person must wash his hands in only one case. When touching the siltan without washing his hands, is both be machshir l'kabel toma and make it tummy at the same time. But if it's not going to be machshir and make it tummy at the same time, then Beis Hillel are not going to require him to wash his hands. And it's not going to become tummy. But kol masel b'tuma. Mishnah Daled. Kashinim Ma'aser Sheni Yochlu Tzimchainim. The kashinim, the vetch, which is beans, is Ma'aser Sheni, must be eaten when its stalks are young and moist, just like we said by siltan. It turns hard and inedible as it ripens. Since it's forbidden to cause Ma'aser Sheni to go to waste, a person must eat the vetch before it becomes inedible. But if it's truma, though, it may be kept until it hardens. The Mishnah will discuss two more halachas that apply to kashinim that are Ma'aser Sheni kashinim. V'nichnas l'Yushalayim b'yotzim. Ma'aser Sheni of kashinim may be brought into Yerushalayim and taken out of Yerushalayim, which is different than all other Ma'aser Sheni produce, which may never be taken out of Yerushalayim once it's brought in. Like siltan, kashinim are primarily used for animal food, and thus should not really be subject to Ma'aser Sheni l'chatchila. Since some people do eat the young tzimchainim, though, it's mechuyev and Ma'aser Sheni only midrabanan. However, the halachas are not as chomer as the regular dinei Ma'aser Sheni. While in general, Ma'aser Sheni may not be taken out of Yerushalayim once it's brought in, kashinim may be removed from Yerushalayim if it can be prepared more easily outside Yerushalayim. However, it must be brought back into Yerushalayim to be eaten, which is a big chiddush. But once it's understood that this is only din d'Rabbanan, so then it's easier to go with that. Nitmu, if the kashinim became tamei, Reb Tarfon says that you can't be poided. Rather, yischalku le'isis. You have to divide it into small portions, which should be mixed together with large tahor Ma'aser Sheni doughs. So in each dough, the small amount of kashinim will become bottled by the large amount of tahor Ma'aser Sheni. The Chachamim say it may be redeemed just as any other Ma'aser Sheni that becomes tamei. According to the Chachamim, the isser against being poida Ma'aser Sheni to feed them to animals applies only to food that's usually eaten by people. But kashinim, though, is generally fed to animals. So therefore, although it may not be fed to animals while it has kedushas Ma'aser, it may be redeemed and then fed to the animals, as is mavur in the Yerushalmi. B'shal truma, if you have kashinei truma, when you soak vetch or rub it on the skin, you must do it while you're tahar. A person must wash his hands before touching it, just as regular truma. But when we feed it to the animals, you may feed it to them when you're tamei. You don't have to wash your hands first. Although kashinim do not have the same chumrah as regular truma, the chacham geyser, that when a person uses it for himself, he may not touch it unless he washes his hands, so people will remember that it's truma and a non-kohen will not eat it. Beis Hillel say sheirim b'tara, when you soak it, your hands must be tahor, b'shafan machilin b'tumah, but we may rub it on the skin or feed it to an animal while it's tamei. Only when a person soaks the kashinim must he wash his hands, because soaking it with unwashed hands causes it to be mukshal kabel tuma and to become tamei at the same time, as we explained in Mishnah Gimel when it came to siltan. Shammai says a person may handle kashinim with unwashed hands, yayochlu tzarid, but the veg should be fed to animals only when it's dry. According to Shammai, a person may not use kashinim in a way that it's obvious that he's making it tamei. Since produce can become tamei once it's wet, it comes mukshal kabel tuma. If his hands are not washed, it'll be clear that he's making it tamei, which is aser. If the kashinim are dry, though, so it's not obvious that he's making it tamei, and the chachamim do not require him to wash his hands. The kashinim will still become tamei if once it gets wet. However, someone who sees a person using kashinim that are dry didn't know whether it was ever wet or not. Since it's not obvious that he's making it tamei, he doesn't have to wash his hands first. The last opinion of the Mishnah is Rabbi Kiva Omer, Kol Maseim B'Tumah, anything that's done with kashinim may be done when the person is tamei. The Chachamim made no gzeres requiring a person to wash his hands before handling this because it is kol kulai for animal food and not for people. Mishnah Hey. Ma'is chulin u'ma'is ma'is hasheni shenas bazru. If you had chulin coins and similar looking ma'is hasheni coins that now all got scattered around, and you can't tell which coins are which. If someone picks up the coins one by one, mashaliket liket l'ma'is hasheni. Whichever coins he picked up first, he picked up for ma'is hasheni. That is, the first coins he collected are treated as ma'is hasheni. Ad sheyashlam, until he finishes collecting the number of coins that belong to ma'is hasheni. Bashar chulin, and the rest of the coins are treated as chulin. For example, if there were 100 Ma'aser Sheni coins and 100 Chulin coins, the first 100 coins he picks up are Ma'aser Sheni and the rest are Chulin. This way, if a few coins will be lost at the end, the loss will be a loss of Chulin, not Ma'aser Sheni. So you count the Ma'aser Sheni first, that you have the amount of Ma'aser Sheni coins. Since he can't know Bevadai that the first 100 coins he collects are truly Ma'aser Sheni, he makes a declaration after he collects the first 100 coins. If all these coins are Ma'aser Sheni, Al's is Git. If not, let the Kedusha of all the Ma'aser Sheni coins still on the floor be nischalal onto any of the chulin coins that I've collected. So if he's holding onto any chulin coins, he's going to be mechalal the kedusha from those coins onto the coins that he's holding in his hand. Through this declaration, all the coins he picked up take on a vaday of ma'aser sheni kedusha, and the rest of the coins are chulin. In bolal v'chafan, however, if the coins fell into a jumble and he scooped up a handful at a time rather than one by one, the handfuls of coins are treated lefi cheshbon, by proportion. For example, if 2/3 of the coins are Ma'aser Sheni and 1/3 was Chulin, 2/3 of the coin in each hand are treated as Ma'aser Sheni and 1/3 is Chulin. Zahaklal. This is the rule. Hamislaktim leMa'aser Sheni. When coins are picked up one by one, the first ones collected are for Ma'aser Sheni. V'anavlalim lefi cheshbon. And when coins are jumbled together and picked up by a handful, they are treated by proportion. Mishnah Vav. Sela shel Ma'aser Sheni shel Chulin shenazarvu. If a silver sela of Ma'aser Sheni and a silver sela of Chulin got mixed up, the owner can do the following. Maybe b'sela amois. He brings a sela worth of copper coins. V'oimer, and he says the following. Sela shel ma'aser sheni v'chol makim shehi. The sela of ma'aser sheni, whichever coin it is, mechulalas al amois ha'elu, should have its kedusha transferred to one of these copper coins. With this, the copper coins take on the kedusha's ma'aser, and both the sela coins become chulin ubayres hayafa shebehen, and he then chooses the nicer of the sela coins. As coins were used, they became rubbed out and lost some of their silver and their shine. The nicer coin is the one that has more silver content. And he transfers the kedusha of the copper coins to the nicer sela. As a result, the nicer sela is ma'aser sheni, and the other sela and the copper coins are chulin. Because we said mechal and kesef al nechayshas midoichak. We may transfer the kedusha from silver coins to copper coins only when we're forced to do so, such as in this case where there's no other way to be mafresh the ma'aser sheni from the chulin, but not otherwise, because it's degrading. It's a chilul to the Ma'aser Sheni to transfer its kedusha from silver to less valuable copper. The Mishnah refers to making such an exchange outside Yerushalayim. Once a person brings a Ma'aser Sheni money into Yerushalayim, he may exchange the larger silver coins for smaller ones in order to make small purchases. He doesn't want to have to deal with so much change. I'm just wondering, how would it work today with credit cards? Would have to go onto the money that's in the bank. Does the bank even have the money? How would it work exactly? It's a good to shaila, I don't know. But even when a person is forced to transfer the silver to copper, it shouldn't stay that way. Rather, you must transfer the kedusha from the nechoshes, from the regular copper coins, back onto the silver coins. Mishnah Zayim. The previous Mishnah discussed transferring Ma'aser Sheni kedusha from silver to copper, from kesef to nechoshes. This Mishnah discusses a person who transferred his Ma'aser Sheni onto kesef, and now wishes to transfer the kedusha onto zohav, so he has less to carry with him when he goes to Yerushalayim. A person may not exchange his silver sela coins of Ma'aser Sheni for gold dinners. That is, if the Ma'aser Sheni was silver, he may not transfer its kedusha onto gold. If a person was allowed to do so, he might delay going to Yerushalayim until he has enough Ma'aser Sheni to fill a gold coin. If a person has Ma'aser Sheni in kesef, he may wait until he has enough of a full zahav before he brings it to Yerushalayim. If Yom Tov comes before he has that amount, he might simply stay home, failing in his obligation to visit Yerushalayim for the festival. Right? I'm sorry, what is this? Maybe he'll wait, he'll push off the mitzvah of Halil Regel until he has the right amount of money that he wants, and he'll end up losing out of the mitzvah of Halil Regel. Beis Hillel matirin, but Beis Hillel are matir transferring Ma'aser Sheni from silver to gold because he's not geyser that a person would not ignore his chiyuv to come to Yerushalayim just because he didn't have enough Ma'aser Sheni for a gold coin. Rabbi Kiva Aniya Sisi Ram Gamliel Rabbi Yeshua's Kaspan Din Reizahav. Rabbi Kiva says, I personally changed the silver Ma'aser Sheni coins from Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua for gold dinner as per Beis Hillel's ruling. So it sounds like it's almost like you could do lechatchila. And there was no tzad that Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua weren't going to go up to Alil Regel, or maybe Fakar. Because there was no tzad that they weren't going to do Alil Regel, then there was no makom to be geyser. But maybe it's not such 100% raya, because they were makbid to do all the mitzvahs anyways. But apparently we're using this as a raya that, like she does Beis Hillel, that it's not a problem. We're not geyser this bichlal even on the Hamayinam. The Nasirim Gamliel had to be there anyways. Rabbi Yeshua was Dav Bezin, he was going to be there anyways. Afal Pikein, it wasn't a problem. Mishnah Ches. Someone wants to exchange many copper coins of Ma'aser Sheni for a silver Sela coin. As he accumulated Ma'aser Sheni, he transferred its kedusha to small copper coins one at a time to make it easier to bring to Yerushalayim. He wants to transfer the kedusha from the small coins to one large silver coin. Beis Shammai say, Kol hasela mois. He may exchange all the copper coins, which is the value of an entire sela, for a silver sela. Beis Hillel Amrim shekel kesef shekel mois. He may exchange half of the copper coins, which is the value of a shekel. A shekel is half a sela, for a silver shekel. But the other half of the copper coins, which are also worth a shekel, must be kept as copper coins for the following reason. When a person arrives in Yerushalayim with the Ma'aser Sheni money, he needs copper coins in order to make small purchases. Silver coins are too much value to be used for ordinary day-to-day purchases. If a person comes to Yerushalayim with a silver coin, he'll need to exchange it for copper coins to buy food. If everyone brought only silver coins to Yerushalayim, they would have to exchange them for copper, and there would be a large demand for copper coins, causing the price for copper to go up. So to avoid this, Beis Hillel ruled that a person should keep some of his Ma'aser Sheni in copper, so he won't be an overwhelming demand for copper when he gets up to Yerushalayim. And also, because most people bring their Ma'aser Sheni money to Yerushalayim at the same time they come for the Yom Tovim, so many people will be trying to exchange silver for copper, which will cause the price of copper to go up, and a person will receive fewer copper coins for his silver, which will be a loss to the Ma'aser Sheni money. So to avoid this, Beis Hillel want to make sure that the price of copper doesn't go up. Reb Meir says, "Ein mechal and kesef peiros al kesef." We may not transfer kedusha from Ma'aser Sheni money and Ma'aser Sheni produce together to the same silver coin. For example, if someone has Ma'aser Sheni coins worth half a dinner and Ma'aser Sheni produce worth half a dinner, he may not transfer them both together to a single dinner coin. A transfer of Ma'aser Sheni is valid only if it's distinct and not mixed together with another chilul. Of money and produce may not be nischalel together. The Chacham allow such a thing, allow such a transfer. The Shittas HaChacham doesn't apply in every case. They agree that if a person has enough small coins to transfer to a full coin and enough produce to transfer to a full coin, he must transfer each, the money and the produce, to its own coin. They allow a taruvus of a chilul, meaning part money and part peiros transfer, only when a person doesn't have enough produce or enough small coins to fill its own coin. For example, he has half a dinner's worth of produce and half a dinner's worth of small coins. If he would transfer each to its own dinner, he would be left with 2 dinners that are each only half kadosh b'Ma'aser Sheni. In this case, the Chacham will allow him to transfer the money and the produce to the same coin. Mishnah Tes. Someone who exchanges a silver sela coin of Ma'aser Sheni for copper coins in Yerushalayim. He may exchange the whole sela for copper coins. Beis Hillel say shekel kesef shekel mois. He must take change for 1 shekel's worth in silver coins, and he may take change for the other shekel's worth in copper coins. He may not exchange the entire sela for copper coins, because we're concerned that we'll not end up spending all the coins on food, but we'll save some for the next time it comes up to Yerushalayim. Since copper coins corrode over time and lose their value, they may be worth less by the next time he returns to Yerushalayim, which will cause a loss of Ma'aser Sheni money. And he cannot simply exchange the copper coins back into silver coins, which don't corrode as easily as copper, because he leaves Yerushalayim, because then he'll have to pay extra fee to the money changer. 1 fee when exchanging the silver for copper, and another fee when exchanging the copper back to silver, which would be another unnecessary waste of Ma'aser Sheni money. Hadanim lefnei Chachamim, those who handle in front of the Chachamim say, the Talmidim of the Chachamim would sit on the floor in front of the Rebbeim and handle what they had been taught. The Mishnah refers to a specific group of 4 Chachamim. Shimon ben Azai, or as we know in the Mishnah is Ben Azai, ben Zayma, Shimon ben Zayma, Chanan HaMitzri, and Chananya ben Chachinoi, who were nifter young and remained Talmidim their whole lives. Accordingly, although they were great Chachamim, whose opinions are referred to in the Mishnah, they were referred to as Hadanim Lefnei Chachamim, which I mentioned in Kama places throughout. Ben Azai and Ben Zayma, yeah. So Hadanim Lefnei Chachamim Aimrim, B'shleisha dinner kesef, he must take change for 3 dinners worth, which is 3/4 of a sela in silver coins, for dinner mois, and he may take change for 1 dinner's worth, 1/4 of a sela in copper coins. Rabbi Kiva Imer, shleisha dinarim kesef urvius mois. He must take change for 3 dinners worth in silver coins, and out of the 4th dinner's worth of the sela, he may take change for 1/4 of it in copper coins. But he must take change for the rest of it in silver coins. In other words, he may exchange only 1/4 of a dinner for copper coins. Rabbi Tarfon Imer, Rabbi Tarfon says, Arba aspere kesef. Tarfon says he must take change for 3 dinners worth of the sela in silver coins, and out of the 4th dinner, he must take 4 aspers worth in silver coins. He may exchange only 1 asper's worth for coins. What's an asper? An asper is a Greek coin that's worth 1/5 of a dinner. Since a sela is worth 4 dinners, the 20 aspers equal 1 sela. Shammai says Shammai says he may not exchange silver for copper coins at all. Rather, he deposits the silver sela in a store with the storekeeper, and over time he takes and eats food from the store equal to the value of a sela. Shammai is concerned that if someone exchanges Ma'aser Sheni money for copper coins that he will carry in his pocket, he might forget that the copper coins of Kedusha will use them for other purposes, not for Ma'aser Sheni. Therefore, he may not exchange the sela for copper coins at all. Instead, he must deposit the sela with the storekeeper who sells food, and he'll use it as credit over time. He'll take a sela's worth of food and eat it according to Hilchos Ma'aser Sheni. Bekitzer, the Mishnah lists 6 different shittas about how much of a sela a person may exchange for the copper coins. Beis Shammai hold he may exchange the entire sela for copper coins. Beis Hillel say he may exchange half of the sela for copper. Hadanim Bnei Chachamim, Ben Azai, Ben Zayma, Chanan HaMitzri, and Chanina Mechachinoi say that he could exchange 1/4 of a sela. Rabbi Kiva holds he could exchange 1/16 of a sela. Rabbi Tarfon holds he may exchange 1/20 of a sela. And Shammai says he may not exchange any of the sela. It's very interesting that Beis Shammai and Shammai are mamish polar opposites over here. Beis Shammai say he may exchange the entire sela for copper, and Shammai himself is much more machmir, completely asers exchanging any of the sela for copper coins. Mishnah Yud, Misha Miktas Banav Tameim Muktas and Tahirim, someone who has some children who are tamei and some children who are tar, and he wants to buy a pitcher of wine with Ma'aser Sheni money for his family to share, Meiniach as a sela of Omer. He puts down a sela of Ma'aser Sheni and he says, Masha Tahirim Shaisim Sela Zumchulal Zalav. This sela shall have its kedusha transferred to the wine that the tahor children will drink. This declaration takes effect. Whatever wine that the children that are tahor will drink will be Ma'aser Sheni, and the rest of the wine will be chulin and may be drunk only by the tamei children. Turns out that the tahor children and the tamei children drink from the same pitcher, which almost is reminiscent of in Mitzrayim by Makas Dam. The Yidden would be drinking from the same pitcher as the Mitzrim, and one would be drinking water, and one would be drinking dam. Ad Kan.